Hey everyone, and happy Tuesday. As you can tell, I'm looking a little rough this week, and that's simply because my allergies are acting up and I've been traveling. Traveling for good reason, I promise. My grandpa is sick, so I did have to go back to Illinois to visit him because I don't know when the next time I will see him will be. But I'm glad that I had a chance to visit with him, just so that you're all aware. I was incredibly safe as I was traveling. I wore a mask the entire time, and I actually own an N95 just from my spray painting stuff a couple years back. So I had one handy and had that available and had a nice full seal as I was on the plane. And as you can tell, wearing a mask all the time like this does not do wonders for your skin either. All that aside, I promise every single week that I'm out here trying to deliver high quality content. It's maybe a step below that just based on my appearance today, but I am here to share some, knowledge with you on things that I've found make me happier in my career. So this week's topic is asking for what you want. And the funniest thing, is that they're gone are the days really of working, hard and keeping your head down. Now is the time to work smarter, not harder. But if you don't tell people how you're working and what you're doing to improve their business and their segment, they don't know. People can't read your minds. They aren't Edward Cullen from Twilight that read your deepest desires. They also don't pay attention to their surroundings as much as they should if they really are truly engaged in their career. So sometimes it does take a lot to have somebody recognize you, right? But that's why I'm here to say, again, ask for what you want. I really got nowhere when no one knew what my goals were or what I was working on as far as projects go. And it wasn't until I started asking about those things and telling people about initiatives that I had proposed without permission. Really, my policy is ask for forgiveness rather than permission. It wasn't until I started speaking up and talking more about these things that I really felt like the needle started moving for me. So for myself, had I not asked for my sales position, I wouldn't be in a spot where I'm able to speak about engineering, about sales, and how the two interact and what our processes are, from really like a full 360, aspect, now working in business development. Had I not asked for, the engineering job, to come back to engineering to work on some technical concepts before business development, I wouldn't be in the spot that I am today with the technical experience that I have as a title with business development engineer. I literally sat down with that hiring manager as they had about 8 different recs open, and I asked a simple question. I said, would I be a good candidate? And they were very candid with me. They said, you've got some good experience. We'd love to take a look at your resume, but I think you'd be a really good fit for the team. So being very careful not to tell me that I had the job or that they were making any sort of preconceived notion or anything like that they were going to hire me. I simply just wanted to have that conversation just to see if that was, kind of something that I should pursue or how I should pursue it. And really, I think that's the important thing as we start moving forward in our career, right? Especially as we're aiming towards, bigger and bigger and bigger goals. When I asked to lead a specific part of our business resource group for women in leadership, I heard the answer no, but they gave me something else to lead. And it was a global program for women in STEM, which was actually perfect for the way that, my personal mission is set up. So while it wasn't a yes, and it wasn't, my ideal situation, it was a great compromise. But I asked for what I wanted, and I got something that was honestly better for me, right? I asked for external training. I think oftentimes, we have I have these conversations about, going to the High Performance Academy with Brendan Burchard, and I tell people, yeah, my company paid for it. And people ask me, they go, how did you pay for it? And I said, well, I just made a business case. I simply asked my supervisor, said, hey, I would really like to do this because I think I can get X, Y, and Z out of this that will benefit the business. And I didn't hear no. I heard, let's build a case for you. So it's my reality, though, that people want to see you succeed. And when you ask the question, and the more you ask, the less you'll hear no, and the more you'll hear not now, or not me, or not yet, right? Not now, not yet, kind of the same thing. But most people are willing to actually help you get to that next spot if you ask the simple question, or they're able to reference something that will help you to get to the next spot. I've asked about other aspects of, my career, right? At one point before I hit business development, I thought about becoming a sales manager. And I simply asked the director of sales, I said, hey, I see that you have this position open. What do you think? And they were very candid with me. And they said, Rachel, we think that, you need a little bit more leadership experience underneath your belt before you can manage a team like that. I said, okay, cool. So while I didn't hear no, I heard, Rachel, go look at getting more leadership experience if you really want a position like that. And while I went to go get that leadership experience anyways, it's not something I want anymore, but I knew that if I wanted it, I could go back to it and say, yeah, I put in the work, I have leadership experience, I have management or people management experience at this point, so how about now, right? I think we oftentimes are afraid of rejection. And my philosophy is never to take anything personally, because the more you let a rejection of, something on your career or something, that somebody else needs to do for you, or an ask of someone else, the more you take that personally, the more you internalize that and make it about you versus it might be about them. That's a huge aspect of any of my asks that I consider, right? It's like, okay, when I ask this of this person, let's say, hey, principal engineer, could you review this thing for me because you're really the only expert. Hey Rachel, I'd really love to. However, I'm really slammed right now, have other priorities. And they typically will come back with, how about in a couple weeks? I don't take this personally, because for me, it's not that I'm not important. It's that they have priorities that they have aligned in the same way that I have with my business, right? And my personal brand and my goals. So trying to compromise kind of on that timeline, or compromise on what that deliverable could be in asking for what you want, is another way that, again, don't take it personally, right? I hope I'm not talking in circles for y'all. I think this is really important to speak up, to be heard, especially now, with our basically second civil rights movement here, as we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and as we're talking about advocating for, more Black voices. How are we enabling those Black voices to advocate for themselves and to speak up and ask for what they want, right? And when someone asks you for what they want, don't be afraid to compromise, but also don't be a jerk. I know you can do this. There's certain ways to go around this. So if you're interested in learning more, click follow, click like, subscribe to my site. and let me know your thoughts on this. I'd love to gather some more information around, what your questions are around how to ask for what you want. I'm more than happy to hold a few sessions with a few individuals who would be interested in learning how to ask or how I ask for what I want. All right, this has been a fantastic session. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week and have a great day.